Welcome to the beginning of the Triduum. And as we go through these services, it's often tempting to hear what's being said and do what we do ritually through the lens of Easter, because we know the end of the story. And I invite you to refrain or to try not to do that, but to sit with each story, with each ritual, and let it speak to you on its own. Because truly, each of these days has something important to tell us. Maundy Thursday is the pivot. We start with a meal. We start with camaraderie and friendship. And to this service, it ends in betrayal. So this is the pivot point. There's so much that I could be speaking about in this gospel story. And I'm a deacon, and y'all probably expect that I'm going to talk about the foot washing and the service and Jesus' command that we should go out and do likewise. And indeed, I have preached on that. And that's an important message. But that's not what I feel compelled that the Spirit is telling me to speak about tonight. I could also talk about the institution of the Eucharist that we hear in the service. And again, many sermons have been preached on that very well. But that's not what I feel I should be talking about. What I am going to talk about with you is a meal. Is what happens at the very beginning of this story. In John's version, he glosses over it a little bit, the meal. I don't know how y'all felt with what we just did in Wells Hall. I personally think it's pretty wonderful. We shared this meal with each other. And this is what Jesus did. This was a Passover meal. We sometimes don't think too much about it. Jesus was Jewish. This was a Passover meal. And I hope many of you looked at that painting. I was on the guilty party. I brought the painting that was on the table in Wells Hall. That's a painting that I absolutely loved. I saw it at a retreat center that's just outside Sacramento, and I always loved it. And I found the painter and ordered my own copy that I have in my office, that one at home. It's much more, in my mind, what I envision happening. There were women there. Oh my goodness, there were children there. They were jovial. They were talking with each other, as we just did. They didn't know what was going to happen. As much as Jesus tried to warn them, they didn't really believe him. Only Jesus knew what was going to happen. For the rest, this was a Passover meal. Reclining at table, kind of messy. I don't know if any of you have had the joy of participating in a Passover Seder in a Jewish home. I've been to both an Orthodox home and a Reformed Jewish home. It is an amazing meal. Family, ritual foods, it's a joyous thing. Meals are important. How many times in our gospel readings do we hear about Jesus gathering at meal? Often with the wrong people. He often got in trouble. Meals are important. And he fed people, the 5,000. He was feeding people, and he gathered together with meals. And I ask you, who are you willing to sit at meal with? Are you willing to be like Jesus and have the tax collector? And to go into homes and places that society says you should not go? Are you willing to have that Passover meal with your Jewish friends or a Jewish community? Are you willing to sit with a Muslim family and have a meal? What about the unhoused, where it's probably not so quaint? But this is how we get to know each other. Mother Maria, as she comes here and she's trying to get to know all of us, what did you want to do? Have coffee, have a meal, go to your home, now that you've got your house. This is how we commune with each other. It's how we get to know each other, and especially how we get to know the other, to really understand them and communicate and talk back and forth. In our outreach, of course, we do this. We feed the veterans. We feed people with our little pantry. When those of us, as we're visiting with Sunny more and more, we have food with her. It's kind of junky food that they have in a vending machine. That's all they have, but it's food nonetheless. And I want to also offer this up to you. Jesus knew, as I said at the beginning, the others did not know what was going to happen, but Jesus did. And how did he choose to spend his last hours before events kind of took on a life of their own? From Gethsemane on, it's like one thing happened after another after another. This night, Jesus knew was his last, and he spent it with friends at table. My friends, this is important. And I'm going to end with a quote from a woman, Diana Butler Bass. If you don't know of her, I commend you to look her up. She's pretty amazing. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from Diana. She says, "What if Maundy Thursday was that? The last supper of the old world, the last meal under Rome, the last meal under any empire. And it is the first feast of the kingdom that has come, the first meal of the new age, the world of mutual service, reciprocity, equality, abundance, generosity, and unending thanksgiving." That's our Monday, Thursday meal.